for me, it was vindication. And get that win. It really, I think for me, was vindication that we're doing things the right way. Refocused us, but getting that first ODAC win means that we're hungry for the second one.
The difference between my freshman year and last year, it's been huge just because every day you know who you're going to have to eventually compete with. You don't overlook any games, but you know during your season you're going to have to play W&L, you're going to have to play Lynchburg, Roanoke, Randolph-Macon, and in the off season it shifts your mindset from, oh, I need to just show up and do a little work, to every day I do work, it has to be at an elite level.
You are now listening to the District 2 Sports Podcast, available on Podbean, Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. It costs you nothing to smash that like button. Leave us a review and follow District 2 Sports on Facebook, X, and Instagram for more content and coverage. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
All right, so District 2 Sports Podcast, and we have another great episode for you today. A little bit different. We're going to do some lacrosse here. Averett University men's lacrosse team, a very young program. We have Coach Bryan Habick, Zac Coleman, and Matthew Clark with us today. A new sport. We've done hockey, we've done baseball, football, basketball, volleyball. But yeah, first time doing lacrosse. So we're going to learn a little bit here today about the game. We'll talk about the ODAC. Averett's competing against teams who are well established, like Roanoke and Washington Lee, Lynchburg, Randolph-Macon, you name it. They've been there for years playing this game, while Averett has just started their program in the last 10 years. So we'll talk about that process, and we'll talk to Zac and Matt about how they got to Averett. Zac grew up in Alabama and not known for their lacrosse, and Matthew is from the Northeast where they're known for their lacrosse. So we'll get their perspectives and kind of talk about some Averett men's lacrosse and have some fun with it. So we'll get to our first question. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you as always. All right, yeah, as I mentioned before, we are here with Coach Bryan Habick, lacrosse coach there at Averett University in his third season. We have the junior Zac Coleman from Huntsville, Alabama, the midfielder there, and then also Mr. Matthew Clark, the senior from Shrewsbury, Mass, also midfielder. Guys, we're in Danville, Virginia. Not a lot of lacrosse history there, but so my first question is going to be, and you guys can get on me if you want to, I understand. For fans unfamiliar with lacrosse, is it fair to describe it as maybe a blend of basketball and hockey on a field? And how would you expand that description? I mean, with all the picking and the zone, the defense, it's kind of like a mixer of that, kind of give our fans a little familiarity.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best way for us to explain it is that lacrosse is basketball with more space. And most of that's because basketball started as a off-season training tool for lacrosse players. So when they initiated it in Canada and it started as the old, pass, no dribble kind of game, that was to give us an opportunity to work our box lacrosse and off-season skills in a tighter space inside. So a lot of the offensive nuances are the same. The defensive mentality is the same. Zone, trying to protect the interior. And a lot of the offense you see is the same. Big Division I lacrosse teams using the interior wall pass to kick it out to a corner for a shot. A lot of that's almost exactly the same, except basketball has really exploded in a way that lacrosse never did. I think a lot of that's mainly because of the availability of space, the availability of the equipment, and the purchasing of the equipment. Obviously, things are very expensive for lacrosse. So that's kind of changed it up. And that's part of the reason why I liked coming to Danville, is because it didn't exist, which means we can grow it in a place that doesn't have this sort of club-only mentality, or that it's got to be this affluent white sport, which it tended to be a lot of the times. And being in Danville, where it's very diverse and the people are looking for an opportunity to find either another sport or an opportunity to get to college. That's what we're trying to do here the next couple of years, is institute some youth lacrosse that might be a little bit more co-ed, to give both gender opportunities to chance to play in college, or even just give them a chance to get away from some of the things that might be a little bit more nefarious. And like when we talk about schemes and things like that, there's a bunch of different ways to go about it. Most of what you see now is a little bit more free flowing, a little bit more of playing off of each other, being creative, using some more of those individual skills instead of being in a set play or a set style offense where it's a little bit easier to game plan against. One of the things we noticed is that first year when we started to put in plays, it was a lot easier for teams to gauge what we were doing, because that we did it every time. Whereas now we've given these guys the freedom to be able to do a little bit more on the defensive end, a little bit more on the offensive end, to give them the chance to like have some ownership to it and make it their own game. Which is another piece I think that's different for lacrosse, is that it's still so new and so small that the individuality of it is a little bit more prevalent than you see in other sports, because there's so many people trying to do it that way.
Coach, I just, I kind of go back a little bit. You've answered a couple of things that I was going to ask you, but was this a startup program? Was this a club mentality at first, or was this just an automatic program that was going to be added in the sports program there at Averett? And then my big part of the question is, why Danville? I mean, and then, did you know these guys prior to them coming to Danville? Or, I mean, how does Huntsville, Alabama and Shrewsbury, Massachusetts know where Averett College or Averett University? It was Averett College when I went, but how do they know where this place exists?
Yeah, I think I might want to leave that second question up to them, because it's more fun to hear how they found it, mainly because I didn't recruit them. The program's been here for about 8 years, which is crazy because you don't really know that it's been here if we don't really promote it. So what we try to do in these 3 years that I've been here is get our name out there, try to get more guys from around the country. And you can see it in some of our future recruiting classes that we do try to get these guys out of state. Not that there's anything wrong with Virginia, but there's such a rich pool of lacrosse in this state that when we find our guys that are a little bit less developed, that are looking for that opportunity to grow and get better. And these guys know from their freshman year, they both are substantially better than when we started. And being able to grow to where they are now, they're going to do some incredible things on this field that have never been done at our program specifically. And that's a lot of what our talking point was because we hadn't established a culture, because it wasn't like some of the other Virginia programs or some of the other ODAC programs. We had a chance to make us and not do it another way. So we really honed in on a lot of the individuality with these guys. And I mean, Alabama lacrosse is played way different than Massachusetts lacrosse, and it's played different than Virginia, California. So we have guys from all over, which makes us more of a melting pot team. And Danville's very much like that. I mean, I'm from New Jersey. My wife's from North Carolina, so we kind of landed here because she did her first college visit here. And then I really fell in love. I mean, I applied for this job when they first opened up the program. Thankfully, I didn't get it because I was young and dumb. But now I'm really at a point where I think I mesh well with what the school's trying to do. And obviously everything that's going on with it being like in this region, in an area with no lacrosse, I knew it was going to be a lot of work, and I wanted that. I didn't want to come into anybody's situation where there was an established culture, there was an established set of how we do things, because I'm a little unorthodox and I like to try new things. And if we have people that are set in their ways, then it's not really going to go well. Thankfully, the school is open-minded. They're obviously really welcoming, which made it easy for me and my family to come here. Both of my brothers play for us, and my mom works here. My wife works here. So it's very much a family atmosphere for me, which makes it easier for me to recruit guys. So me having that kind of mindset, I think it made it easier for these guys to kind of come in and know that they could just be themselves. But for you guys, Chewy and Zach, what was kind of the thing, that drew you guys to Averett before me obviously getting here?
Zach, you want to go first?
Sure. I would say absolutely the family culture that I've experienced on my visit over to Averett was really what drawed me over into the school. And just like that small culture, getting to like grow the team, grow in the area. That's something that really meant something to me whenever I was trying to find a school.
For me, I didn't really know about the school until I got reached out to from our previous coach on NCSA. And what really drew me was kind of like what Zach said, was a small, tight-knit team. I didn't really have a lot of that in high school. And on my visits, when I saw, even in our previous culture that we've kind of corrected, the guys wanted to spend time with each other and they wanted to be around each other, and it was a brotherhood. And athletically, I didn't really have a ton of experience with that in high school. So that was a big selling point for me. And then I got to continue playing the sport I love. And honestly, the combination of that made it really hard to pass up.
Coach, are you a glutton for punishment? I mean, this is a starter program, basically. I know this is your third year. You go 3 wins, you go 4 wins. What kind of timeline are you on? And I guess kind of the B part of that question is, when do you so-called get your guys in place?
Yeah, I mean, if I had to choose, if I had recruited 2 years ago, I'd say my guys are probably all in place right now. I mean, I would have recruited both of these two. I would have recruited all the guys that we have here, and I think it's because we're all on the same page. So, glutton for punishment necessarily. I mean, I am married, so my wife makes it nice and easy, which is great, and I know she's going to hear this, so I might have to cook dinner tomorrow. But I think for me, it's knowing that it takes hard work, and it just is going to take what it takes. I mean, there's days where we do scouting reports until 2 o'clock in the morning, and these guys get it early in the morning, a couple days before a game, or they get it the day before the game at 10 o'clock at night. I mean, the requirement is just what it takes. And I've worked at 7 different schools, 6 of them being Division 3, 1 NAIA. And I feel like I've really found the opportunity here to be able to do what I want to do because the school supports me in that, which then just makes it easier. So the work that I want to do ends up being stuff that I'm passionate about, which makes it easier for me to do it. So I don't know if I necessarily feel the punishment as much, mainly because they make it so much easier. I mean, like they're a really, really good group of guys that want to be, like Chewy said, like around each other. And I think the part of that that's continuing to grow is that we're still a small team. We started at 17 my first year. This year we'll have 29. Which is obviously a decent amount of growth in those 2 years. But we want to be at about 40 to 45 because you see the other teams in our conference. I mean, we talk about timeline. It's impossible to sit here and say that a conference championship is on the horizon when you have 4 nationally ranked programs ahead of you and you're sitting where we're sitting. It's just the realism of it. That doesn't mean we can't get better. I mean, we've gotten significantly better in the win totals, in records, our goalie finished last year. I think he was like number 6 in the country for total saves and 1 in the conference for saves per game. We've had more guys get at least nominated to all conference if they didn't get selected for it. So we're seeing some different growth there, GPAs, roster size, all these types of things that I don't know if there's a specific timeline that I have in mind. But I do know that around year 4, I'm going to start getting looked at different because all these will be all the guys that I've had the opportunity to recruit. And I've only been able to recruit them because of guys that we have on the team now. They do a decent amount of communicating with our guys because that's who they're going to hang out with. I'm not a fool. They're not coming to hang out with me. They're coming to do work with me. And that's not the fun part. It is fun in the way we make it. But I think the big thing when we get to that 4 years is seeing where we're at. And I think we probably should be. This is going to shoot myself in the foot like 6th or 7th in the conference, but that's if we're recruiting as well as we're doing. And that's obviously my job. So we've talked about it in-house, and these guys know what our expectation is for this season is to be better than we ever have been. The most program wins this team's ever seen in a season over the past 8 years is 4. So if we get to 5, then I think I'm tenured. But if we get to 5, we're a little bit closer, and then we continue to grow from that. So it's just been year-to-year progress that we've been looking at.
You hit on something, and this is one of my questions I was going to ask earlier because I, kind of took a peek at the roster, and according to the website, Averett website, you only had 18 on the roster. So I was like, man, you only play 10 at a time. So how in the world you running some guys to death out there? And so you got 29 on the roster now. So you are currently still looking for players to come on board. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So the way Averett does it is at the end of that season, they talk about the projected roster. So that's all the guys we have coming back. So right now we've got at least one more guy coming back than we had when I started as a whole team. So between that and then I think we have 11 freshmen. We'll have one guy coming in mid-year here next week. So that'll put us right at that 29. And then we have recruiting-wise 26s. We've got 13 guys committed right now. We've already started recruiting 27s. So just being in this conference, we've got to kind of move ahead with that stuff too.
Well, Coach, I got good news. I didn't play a varsity sport when I was at Averett, so I've got 4 years still left to go. So, I think
Right.
I can join Chewy and Zac for the next. I think I got 4 years left of eligibility, so I'll be playing with these guys the upcoming year if you don't mind.
Hey, you know what? The more the merrier if you got the right energy. And there's a guy that plays football at Coleman right now, Tom Sillo. I started following him a little bit. Tom is killing it. We want to make sure that the opportunity is there, and there's no age limits. If you're willing to come around and get beat up by these guys, more for it.
Just make sure you got some PT ready for me, okay?
Oh yeah.
Listen, and I said a couple things about, glutton for punishment and stuff. I did a little research, and the reason why I kind of hit on that was I did not realize, and you guys, everybody is feel free to chime in on this. I had no idea that the ODAC was as strong as it was. I really didn't. I went back and looked at last year's numbers. Of course, Lynchburg and WNL go to the tournament, and then but you still got what, 5 teams that are within just games apart from each other. 5 teams that are listed in the top 60 programs in the country, and then of course CNU is right up the road, and they're number 6 in the country. I guess my long-winded question is, how much better does it make Chewy? How much better does it make Zac? How much better does Bryan Habick get? How much better do you all get when the ODAC is as tough as it is?
Well, I mean, and I'll let these guys touch on their playing experience against them. I think for me, it's more so seeing the way it's supposed to be done, the way it is done, and how successful those guys are at it when they do it that way. That makes it a lot easier for us to take bits and pieces from them. I obviously don't know what it's like to compete against these programs as a player. I mean, my playing career, I think we went against RIT and Ithaca, and like those were some of the best teams then. But the landscape's changed, and the South is much stronger than it ever has been, especially with lacrosse. So I don't know what it's been like for you guys playing against those teams, obviously, because Chewy especially, you know what it was like from the old conference to this conference, or your freshman year was the first year we started, right, in this conference. So around that change, I don't know how that's been for you guys. Sorry.
Personally, for me, the difference between my freshman year and last year, it's been huge just because every day you know who you're going to have to eventually compete with. You don't overlook any games, but you know during your season you're going to have to play WNL. You're going to have to play Lynchburg, Roanoke, Randolph-Macon. And in the offseason, it shifts your mindset from, oh, I need to just show up and do a little work, to every day I do work, it has to be at an elite level. No matter what work I do, I need to have an elite mindset. I need to be focused and confident in what I'm doing to not only build on the skills so that you can go out and physically compete, but a lot of it's the mindset. My freshman year, none of us really felt like we belonged. And, after 3 years of going up against nationally ranked teams, you have to wake up every day and show up every day and say, I belong, and I'm going to prove that I belong. And that's the work ethic you have to be able to go and compete at the level that we play at. And we haven't necessarily seen the results that us as players would have liked. And I know Coach agrees with us on that, but being able to play against some of the best teams really gives you 2 choices of, you can kind of just roll over and let it be what it'll be, or you can stare right in the eyes and say, I'm here. Let's go to work.
Honestly, my mentality with going up against these like bigger teams, all these strong teams, they're just like me. I don't look any sort of way differently than I do with the smaller teams that we play. That honestly, they're all just the same people to me.
Now I want to talk about the dynamic here with Chewy and Zac. I mean, Chewy, obviously you play, you come from the Northeast there in Massachusetts, known for lacrosse. I want to ask if you played lacrosse growing up, and what was that scene like? I mean, especially when you look at D1 lacrosse, you see the Browns, the Yales, the UConn, Boston University, all those great teams up there. So what was the dynamic like up there for you playing lacrosse, and then also for Zac, Huntsville, Alabama? I mean, I know they're getting to get some hockey down there and some lacrosse down there, but it's known for Roll Tide, right? Football.
Yes, sir.
So talk about that dynamic too, playing lacrosse down there. So I'll let Chewy go first.
So in terms of a Northeastern lacrosse player, I actually started really late. I didn't start playing lacrosse till 7th grade. And like the first 5 years I played, I was a goalie. So I didn't get a ton of on-field experience, but it's a physical, fast-paced game up here. It's kind of like the weather. It changes every 5 minutes, and when it changes, you're going to know it and you're going to feel it. And being able to know that when I hit someone, I need to know that they know they just got hit, and not that I just know that I hit them. And the dynamic of the game going from up here to Virginia has been not super drastic, because my opinion is north and south isn't as different as it is east to west.
Mm-hmm.
And the Eastern mindset of lacrosse is a little bit more physical, gritty, ground and pound kind of style of, if you're going to run right at me, bring it on because I'm not going to back down. And that's my approach to it. And having played goalie and midfield and now being the role I'm at close defense, it's been nice being able to mesh a little bit of offense with what it's like to be in between the pipes and know that the mentality as a defender you need to have is I need to be willing to put my body on the line in every capacity for the guy in between the pipes behind me, but also I need to work my butt off to get the offense the ball because when they have the ball, we don't. And being from Massachusetts and New England, it's been kind of just deep rooted in me that, no matter what the environment, no matter what the conditions, or no matter who you're playing against or with, you got to show up and you got to want it and you got to prove that you want it.
And then Zach, for you as well, talk about playing lacrosse there in Huntsville, Alabama.
I started playing my junior year of high school, so I didn't really experience much of lacrosse at all in Alabama. Our high school program, it also just got started, I would say 3 years before I got there. So it's all really new. In Birmingham, I would say the lacrosse community there is a lot bigger than what it is in North Alabama. It's really just a whole bunch of hockey players that just want to play something else while they're out of season. And all the coaches, they're all just hockey coaches that also just want to coach lacrosse. So there's not really much there. I got up to Virginia and noticed that there's a whole nother level competition that I need to play at. So yeah, it's really what it is.
And Coach, for you, talking about the type of athlete you need there to play lacrosse. I mean, it seems like you could recruit football, you could recruit hockey, like we talked about. What type of recruit are you looking for to come there and succeed?
Yeah, I think right now when we started, sorry, that's a weird way to phrase that. But when we started, it was very much trying to get guys that were dedicated to working hard. And not that we still don't want that, but where we've started to adjust is in the lacrosse IQ side of things and how guys approach the game, not from a specialization perspective. I still want dual sport athletes. I mean, I played football, basketball, and lacrosse in high school, and I think that makes us more well-rounded. But we definitely want guys that have started to play a little bit more active in their careers, maybe a little bit sooner. I mean, I'm from Jersey. I started in 8th grade also. So it's not like I was a well-off lacrosse player before that. But I think what we've started to notice is the guys we need to help these guys out are the ones that can fulfill the things that they already know. So when high school players go into college, it's a very different game. It's not like basketball where it's very similar in the rule set, really very similar in the way it's played. Lacrosse and high school and lacrosse in college are just two different paces. So if a guy comes in with a little bit higher lacrosse IQ, it makes it easier to develop them on the field and make it easier for them to work with these guys when they've already developed that. Because we've been working on that for 2 years, is expanding the lacrosse IQ. These guys know way more now than I think they ever would have known. And a lot of it's on their own research, them trying to make sure they're better players, that we're a better team. Their work ethic is second to none. I mean, both these guys are doing work all summer and all winter, when they're not supposed to or don't have to. So it's intriguing to see kind of how that's changed, because when we recruit, we have to recruit the guys that fit with the players we have. And if we don't bring in good people, they're not going to mesh well with these guys. If we don't bring in people that are willing to learn and know there's going to be some level of adversity to it, because there is such a transition between the two sports. It's interesting to see how we kind of tailor that, but try to be specific in it and not necessarily, fish with dynamite, because we need to get the right type of guys to do this the right way.
And Coach, going back on the recruiting part, I'm sure your recruiting footprint is probably Raleigh, Charlottesville, maybe the beach area and stuff like that. But as far as the regional growth, look at schools like at Lynchburg. You have EC Glass, Jefferson Forest, who have really picked up their effort there. Roanoke, you have teams like Salem and Case Spring. What does it mean for those teams and those regions, Lynchburg and Roanoke, to kind of pick up their programs to help you guys with the recruiting base? And do you see Danville or GW maybe putting out a lacrosse team in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much this area is going to adapt lacrosse at the high school level because it is still very costly. So if I can get it into the youth level and force the high schools in like 6 or 7 years to do it, then that's my plan. Kind of tip their hand. But I think as far as competitive programs are concerned, trying to find the right schools is obviously what we're trying to do. But I think a little bit of it is in Virginia, people still have this negative connotation to what Danville is, and it's not what it used to be. So a lot of times when we talk to our recruits from Richmond or from Nova or the Salem area, they know of Danville. The closer they are, the more they know about it and the better they are kind of seeing that opportunity. But you guys know, I mean, Virginia and Danville as a whole has really kind of taken a hit over its history. And now it's starting to come back up, which makes it easier for us to tell these guys like, hey, look, it's a good situation for you here now where there's things to do and there's, guys that want to be here and they're from all over the country because I mean, not that it's necessarily a bad thing to get guys all from one area, but when you have players coming from California, New York, and Alabama and Florida, and like it says something about where we are. It says that we're a diverse place that a lot of different people want to be at, and I think that's what fits me best. I've coached in Pennsylvania, played in New York, was from Jersey, coached in Ohio, North Carolina, Virginia. So like I've only ever recruited from different places because I needed to get the right type of people. And if I only look locally, we might not find as many as we want, and we might not find the right guys. I mean, these guys wouldn't have come here if they might not have come here if they were from Virginia, and some of that might be that we did a good job of tricking them into it at that point in time, which maybe, and I think now they see the vision, they see the opportunity we have to be successful. And you talk about good programs. I mean, our 2026 class has a goalie coming from Long Island who was a 1% showcase guy. We have an attackman coming from North Carolina. They just won a state championship against three-time champion Lake Norman Charter. We've got a guy from Florida who played with one of the best clubs in the country with Florida Crabs. So we're getting some of these better lacrosse players. It does take time, and it's obviously a growth perspective, but the 26 and 27 class should see a little bit more of these like highly touted schools. But it's again, it doesn't matter where you come from. It matters how you play, and it matters the type of person you are. And Zac dipped, no, but it matters the type of person that you are, right? I mean, it doesn't matter any of that other stuff. If you're a shitty person, and I apologize, that's going to get cut. But if you are, like, I just can't deal with it. I mean, my family's ex-military. My dad's very cut and dry. I'm very much like cut and dry. So if you're looking for a place to be the guy, this isn't it. But we want guys that are coming in here that understand it's going to take a level of effort that they might not necessarily know. So sometimes the guys at bigger schools aren't okay with that. They don't want to come in and start a legacy or build something from nothing. But a lot of the guys that we've been able to catch on to at that level are only going to make us better. And it's a testament to the guys that we have. I keep saying that, like I keep talking about the next generation, and we can't get there if we don't have the ones that we have right now. So they are a huge reason why we've been able to do it.
All right, Coach, Zac, Chewy, I want to see if everybody's on the same page. Gregory and Devin make fun of me because I'm a Google guy. I'm a Max Preps guy. I'm an AI guy. So I'm always, looking up information. So question is, and I did this last night, so just kind of curious, most important player on the field. Well, okay. What position? I guess I should have phrased that better. What position is the most important on the field?
Okay. Well, let's see what these guys think first, and then we'll give my opinion. What do you think, Zac, Chewy?
I believe in the goalie because if you don't have anybody, I believe the goalie should be the voice of the defense, the voice on the field. The goalie is the person that overwatches everybody. He's the person that y'all are looking for, or that y'all are listening for, I should say.
You're not wrong. And if I got the opportunity to pick the two most important, it'd be face-off then goalie, because you need someone solid. And we're lucky because we have, in my opinion, my biased opinion, but my opinion, the most solid goalie we could have in the pipes. But face-off is it's, in my opinion, the most critical position out on the field, because so much about the game and momentum is decided at the face-off X. And Zac has been doing a great job the past 2 years, because he's a year younger than me, but he's been doing a great job scrapping at the X. And it's the work that he does at the X that keeps us in games and helps shift momentum when we need it. And that's what face-off guys bring to the table is they can spark a run and allow you to play make it, take it lacrosse, which is very helpful when you're the one playing it. But on the flip side, they can also prevent that. And being able to stop teams from going on scoring runs starts and stops at the face-off X.
Coach?
Oh, see, now you get the politically correct answer.
Yeah, exactly.
It all
All
depends.
phases.
I mean, I'm a defensive-minded guy. Like I played defense, close LSM, D-midi. I never really touched offense until I got into men's league and coaching. But I mean, offense wins games, defense wins championships. So I guess it depends on where you are. You know what I mean? Zac this year is going to probably see himself shift a little bit more to the offensive end because that's what we need for him. I mean, he's going to get the job done. I mean, he's a scrappy, fast guy. He's the fastest guy on our team, regardless of what anybody else thinks. And I know there might be some other guys that compete for that. But I think at his size, what he does best is he gets around guys, he gets the space, and he finishes. And I mean, that comes from his ability to push transition with face off, which if you look at other sports that we talked about earlier, hockey and basketball, how important is the tip off? How important is the initial face off for those sports? It's really not. For us, it's much more important. Possession is huge, and a good face off guy is at about 65%. So you're still playing 35% of the game on defense. I think if that's the case, a goalie has to be the first pick, and that's the first one we did. We went out and found a really good goalie that came in, and not that our goalies before that weren't doing what they were supposed to do, but we just weren't making enough saves. And that's what the goalie has to do. So we brought in a guy who was freshman year, had 256 saves over the course of 17 games. So I mean, he saw a lot of rubber. And that for us, I think on our team, it's much more important that we have a good goalie. Because we can rotate face-off guys through. That's a position where you might play 2 or 3 a game, but you're only ever really going to play one goalie. So I think if we're talking about how teams win championships, it's on the defensive end. And if that's where we want to be at the end-all, be-all of it all, then we have to give the credit to defensive guys. And especially because the rule changes keep benefiting offensive players, which is so annoying. It's nice to see that the goalie gets the credit he deserves. So I think the goalie's a little bit more important.
All right, AI said the goalie, so that's the reason why I was kind of asking. So, which led me to these next 2 questions because I feel sorry for the goalies. I do. I just feel like they're getting pounded, and here he is with this long stick, and what else does he have to do? So my next 2 questions are this: how big is this ball? What's it made out of? And then anybody can answer: how fast is this ball coming at him from you guys?
So this is from our first ODAC win last season. It's about that big. So it's not much larger than, middle of my face. But the problem is it's made of like a polyurethane rubber. So it doesn't fly the same all the time. So like when it comes off of the stick, what it'll do is it'll compress and it'll actually become like ovular in the way that it flies. So that changes some of the trajectory on how the shot goes in or how it changes in midair. It could curve. Depending on how, I don't have one in my office, but there are some balls that have like golf ball dimpling to it now that have given it a better grip so that it doesn't get as greased over or gross. There are some balls in here that just have no grip to them, and you can tell the difference, obviously. But with the gripped balls, they fly different. So there's a lot of things that we're still learning as far as like lacrosse is concerned in the ball, whereas like basketball and football have kind of figured their shape out. But when that thing flies, it flies fast. I mean, average shots are between 65 to 105, depending on the skill level. And it hurts. I mean, I stopped doing it because I couldn't do it. I mean, Chewy knows he was a goalie. I took one off the inside of my foot and was like, nope, I'm done. I'm out. Yeah, you're not keeping me in there. So it takes a special person, but I'm sure Chewy, from your perspective as a player, man, what do you think?
Think about how much it hurts. It really depends on where you get hit. The best thing I could compare it to is it's kind of like getting a tattoo. It really depends on where you get hit. If you soak one in the thigh, you're going to feel it and you're going to be a really, really unhappy player for about 5 to the rest of the day, depending on, who's shooting it. But if you catch it off the shoulder or the shin, it's end of story. You almost want to walk off the field after that.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes you get a nice little souvenir.
Yeah.
What kind of MPH are we talking about here?
I mean, college level, what do you think? 85 to 100, 105?
Wow.
Yeah,
Gosh.
probably.
Yeah, and it's quick. I mean, depending on the release, because some guys, if they have a larger windup with a little bit more whip on their stick, they might be able to propel it with a little bit more velocity. I know I shoot pretty hard, but that's because of the way my stick is shaped. It's illegal and we can't use it on the field, so we don't. But with legal sticks now, they've made it a little bit harder to control the ball offensively, giving the defenders a little bit more of an advantage with the stick mechanics and all that kind of stuff. So it's interesting to see how like this tiniest little tweak of your stick can adjust it and change it from being faster or lower or higher. It's crazy.
All right, I'm gonna ask all three of you. So I sit here and I watch the Division I guys go at it, especially when it's the Final Four and everything. And I see the long stick, the short stick. So I'm assuming the offensive guys are going to be our short stick guys can get release the ball. So can you explain kind of the long stick, short stick kind of thing? Anybody. This is for all of you.
Yeah, should we go for it?
Zach, you got it if you want it.
Nah, you're good, man. Go ahead.
I'm saying you're the pole, bro. Come on.
So, having played a little bit of shorty and predominantly pole, it comes with two different mindsets. You feel way more powerful and way more of a threat when you're holding a 6-foot piece of metal that you are allowed to hit people with. But that also, it's the give and take. 3 feet versus 6 feet, it's way easier to protect 3 feet. It's way easier to move with 3 feet of stick instead of 6 feet of stick. So being able to have those advantages helps the offense. But also, I like having the 6 feet because it means I get 3 more feet of space that I can keep, but still be engaging the guy I'm defending. And I don't really know what else to say other than one of them really makes you feel like it two different mindsets completely, because you hold a short stick, you're like, all right, cool, give me the rock, I want to go score. And when I pick up a long pole, I'm like, if I get the ball, I'm looking for someone upfield to pass it to, because the only thing I really want to do with this stick is go show people why they don't want the ball on our defensive half of the field.
Going off of that, I would say also that 6-foot pole, I mean, it just gives you 3 more feet to play with. But me playing as a shorty, I look at it as like, it's just easier like hide from me. It's easier just run around with. It's easier to just be more agile with. I like the short stick more because I mean, I'm 5'7". I don't want a stick that's taller than me. So I don't really like that. But there are some players with long sticks that can play both ways. Our LSM, he gets goals too. It's really just how you play with your stick. It's what you do with it.
Well,
And I
the
think,
other. Oh, go ahead, Coach. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. God knows I could talk. Shoot.
No, what I was going to say was the other night, it's probably a terrible example to bring up right now, but I was watching a little bit of the indoor lacrosse league, and I watched 2 goalies square up. I mean, took off the pads and squared up, and I had never seen that before. So my next question was going to be, and I realized it has a lot to do with the sticks and contact. What is a foul? What's a foul in lacrosse?
So I think it all depends, because it's a lot like basketball where there's personals and technicals, but they're flipped. So our technical fouls are not as intense, but the personal fouls are more intense. And there's varying levels. So you can have a 30-second penalty that's a technical. It might be some sort of minor infraction, like pushing somebody over on the ground while they have the ball from behind, where you can hit them from the front. So little things like that. Then you could have like my stick could be illegal so bad that I can't fix it in game, and that's a 3-minute non-releasable, which means now my team has to play a man down for 3 minutes, regardless of how many goals get scored on us. So there's some nuances where it's a little bit harder to explain because it is still so different. But the best thing I can tell people is that it usually constitutes a foul when you go, oh my God, that was really bad. Anytime before that, it's usually like you hear parents going, "Ooh," and the coaches are like, "Yeah." So it all depends. we tend to play it a little bit more physical. Like I want our guys to get out and not necessarily cross check by the rule, but play a little bit more physical on the edges. Because that's I mean, shoot, we play against teams that have 5 to 6 All-Americans. If we try to play packed in tight, they're just going to pick us apart from distance. So I think it depends. But I started playing lacrosse for the same reason Chewy played defense, was I wanted to hit people in the off season. So now you could hit people a lot more back then because safety exists now, which is good. I'll probably forget how to read in like 10 years, but as far as the physicality of the game is concerned, I mean, lacrosse adopted that hockey aspect for that reason, just not the fighting on the field. What you were obviously watching was box lacrosse, and that's just a different professional league where everyone's a short stick. They're all obviously it's 5-on-5 plus a goalie, so they play a little bit tighter in knit, and that creates a different energy, and that results in fists meeting faces sometimes. So, and I was actually out of the game where we had a fight. There was a fight on Saturday when I was in Seattle or San Diego watching the Seals play. And it's just part of the energy of the game. I mean, I love box lacrosse too because I'm a hockey guy at heart. So I love seeing guys get after it. But on the field game, you can't fight like that. And these guys know that if we got to that point, they'd be fighting me first.
Perfect. So my last question about the rules. All right, so I'm watching this game or a couple, any of these games, and I see a guy or two guys behind the goal. Okay, whoever takes a shot on goal, ball flies past the goal, goes out of bounds. Explain to me who gets that ball or whose ball it is when these guys are taking off running out of bounds. I'm still not being able to follow this. Somebody explain this to me.
Of course. So I think the thing that I want you to get out of this call is knowing that it's confusing as all get out. It does not matter. No, it matters. But when you go to watch a game, it just feels like there's so much stuff going on because it's so fast and we play those quick whistles. When the ball goes out of bounds on a shot, it's anybody's possession. It could be anybody's possession based on who's the closest to the ball. If it's tipped, it'll stay to the offense. If it's a pass, it's a change of possession. But most of the time, what happens is off those shots, whether it rings off a pipe or it hits the goalie and bounces out of bounds, or it just misses the cage completely and goes out of bounds, that it goes to the person that's closest to the ball when the ball goes out of bounds. The downside of lacrosse is we've changed rules a lot. So like when I played, you just ran to the end line. It was the closest to the line, even if the ball went out 20 yards that way. Now you have to chase the ball. And if you're not the first to the line, referee's discretion, of course, then, that's kind of where that comes into play. But I usually just tell the guys, I'm like, every time we shoot it, let's have a chaser. Let's have a guy behind the cage. So we have someone there ready so we can get that possession back.
And Coach, you talked about this earlier or alluded to it. One of the things I was watching some of your interviews on YouTube there, and one thing you mentioned for the 2025 season was getting that first ODAC win. What did that win at Randolph College kind of mean to you? And what did that win represent, internally for the team as well?
I think for me personally, and I might ask these guys to touch on what it meant for the team, just because I don't want to take that from them. But for me, it was vindication, right? I mean, you guys have seen my track record. The previous 2 years before that, I was at an AIA school and we were going through some stuff, and that school doesn't exist anymore. So we weren't able to be successful on the field, regardless of what players we had. And now here, being able to take all of the things that the Averett brings to the table and all the things that I bring to the table, and then be able to bring these guys to the table and get that win, it really, I think for me, was vindication that we're doing things the right way. And it was really nice to be able to get that for them because I think they needed it. Obviously you saw the previous 2 years before that, it was tough. We didn't get that win with Ferrum backing out of the conference that we wanted. So it really changed some things and refocused us. But getting that first ODAC win means that we're hungry for the second one. So I'm not sure how you guys feel.
Zach, you can go first.
I looked at it as just another win with many more to come. It just showed that we're able to compete, and it just shows that we can win. Honestly, it's just, many more to come.
It showed we were not below the level we should be. Having the most experience in this program out of the three of us, knowing the history in the past 3-4 years of Averett versus Randolph, and having lost the previous year to Randolph, it was I don't want to say a breath of fresh air, but it was a sigh of relief knowing that it was no longer an adjustment year, and it was no longer, you know, like we are actively preparing to rebuild. It was, okay, cool. We're back where we know we can be and feel like we should be. And now it's just looking, like Zach said, on to the next win, on to the next game to keep stacking wins. And I know for me, and not to speak on other people's behalf, but for the other seniors, it was, okay, cool. Where we're back at our base level now. The only place we are gonna go is up and getting more ODAC wins and more wins overall.
Guys, I'm looking at a countdown clock. It says 31 days, 21 hours, 12 minutes, and now 34 seconds. What does that mean to each one of you?
I mean, that's the first time we really get to go against somebody else where the stats matter. So I think it's going to be really good for us to see what we've put in and the work we've put in the offseason.
Yeah,
Zach?
exactly.
I look at it as like, I mean, it's just a countdown to the start. It's the start of everything. The start of really just how the whole entire season is gonna go. I just can't wait for it. It's like it's like a ticking time bomb, to be honest.
Yeah, pretty much the same. Looking at that clock, it's exciting. It's a countdown to a business day. It's a business meeting. It's showing up, working your butt off like any other day, but with the opportunity to go out there and see a different color and hit a different color. And unlike all the work we've done and will have put in up to that point, it's no longer up to us what matters. It's, we need to go out there and handle business to the standard we've established, because it's no longer up to us what matters. It's outside opinion that plays into how we're viewed, and being able to go out there and operate at our standard in our culture with our mindset and mentality. And that's really that's going to be the first time we get to show the ODAC, but also the entire country, just who we really are, and that we're not Averett that they know anymore. We're someone completely different, and we're bringing a fight that I don't think they're ready for.
I love it, Chewy. And listen, Coach, I'll ask you, what we're speaking of is February 7th, Saturday, 11 a.m. against Savannah College of Art and Design. If you could just speak just a second. I know I just noticed this myself, and, it's the lacrosse out cancer game. Can you speak to that for just a moment and let everybody know what we're talking about here?
Yeah. I mean, obviously you see a couple other special events that are on there that we're trying to do this year, and some of them local, some of them international. Lacrosse Out Cancer is an offshoot that helps with the PCRF, so the Pediatric Cancer Research Foundation. They work in partnership in connecting lacrosse games and lacrosse events with fundraising opportunities. So like last year, we did an event where all the guys had to or could raise money, and if they raised a certain amount of money, then the organization would give them like a free T-shirt, and they would get recognized and that kind of thing. But really, we're just trying to raise awareness, and it's worked so far. I think the number is going from 44 to 41, like people diagnosed a day with pediatric cancer. So the numbers are getting a little bit better. There's a lot of lacrosse programs that work with them, but it's just an opportunity for us to obviously connect with an organization that needs help. And we've worked with them before, so we want to try to keep that relationship.
And I know Gregory's got a couple more things to add, but I want to go ahead and say this now because it's just weighing heavy on my mind. I watched a Division III football game the other night, national championship game between North Central and let me think,
River Falls.
River Falls, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm drawing a huge conclusion, kind of parallel here. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you follow. I never knew who River Falls was, and those guys. Listened to the coach after the game, and I heard commentary throughout the game. Those guys started out 0-11, 1-10 for up 10 years, and then in year 15 of this guy's of this guy's career, they finally win a national championship. And, the thing that I heard that really, it wasn't all about this team right here. It was about laying the foundation from day one of 15 years ago up until this, and giving credit to those guys coming into the program. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, I'm as an Averett alumnus, I'm very proud to hear what's going on here. I'm very proud to hear each and one of you, stand up and give your opinion and let everybody know, hey, this is who we are and we're coming out to fight. So I'm looking forward. I was just looking at the schedule. I'm looking forward to being at some of these games and support you guys. And I really look forward to this upcoming year. So congratulations. And, I look forward to good things from you guys.
Yeah, thank you. We're hopeful that we can make even the alumni of our program, but especially the university, proud. I mean, this place has been around for a long time, and there's no reason that lacrosse can't be successful like volleyball or football or wrestling or golf or anything. So the chance is there.
Just a couple left for me. I just want to talk about, I know the lacrosse program started there in 2018, and kind of about the same time, or maybe a little bit before, they redid, Daily Field and all that stuff. What is it like to play in that facility, and how much is that, have been built towards the lacrosse program? And then also talk about the Averett admin. I mean, how much have they supported you guys in this lacrosse program?
For sure. Yeah, I think from a facilities perspective, I mean, both of you guys have seen some changes. So what do you think it's like playing on that field and the way it's kind of set up and everything?
I think the biggest difference in terms of actually playing is the line color of the field for us. When I got on campus and for my first few years, it was orange lines, and they were old, and the sun hits turf, it can disappear. And the fact that the university, when they put in a new turf field, not only decided that they were going to bring in a turf field that was rated for multiple sports, not just the wear and tear of one sport. It was nice to know that they care enough about, the spring sports, that they don't want the turf field to be falling apart after 2 years and to put us at risk, but also the attention to detail to know that we need to be able to have clear, consistent lines that we can see day in and day out. And for the field, it's been nice to know that, they care about us enough to invest in it. And then in terms of the facilities, we have nice facilities, and we have a lot of opportunity to enjoy a lot of very nice things. And the biggest thing in terms of facilities for me is the people who maintain them and the people who allow the facilities to function at the level they do. Our maintenance crew, our athletic trainers, and our strength coaches, they utilize and maintain a very, very high level of finish and professionalism across the board in all aspects for our facilities. And I think personally, it's a big blessing to know that the university as a whole is bought into supporting each and every athlete at all levels in the university.
How about you, Zach?
I agree. We have very nice facilities. I love our field, and I mean, even changing the colors of the lines. One of our players are colorblind, so it really helps him out that he can really see the lines clearly now. So yeah, honestly, I love it there. Love all the facilities there. I love our North Campus. It's maintained well. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, I think from my perspective, it's the easiest thing to sell. I mean, if we're being honest, a 56,000 square foot facility, 3 practice fields, one of them being brand new turf that's got cooled play technology, so the temperature drops when it's hot out. It's so easy to sell. I think the piece that's nice for me is knowing what it is compared to everyone else, because that's really what they're there for, right? Is to compare them to other schools, see what availability you have. And I don't know if I've worked at a school that had a dedicated rehabilitation room. I don't know if I've worked at a school that actually had 3 coaches on staff. I don't know if I've worked at a place that took the lacrosse team's opinion into consideration almost ever, because we're not football, we're not basketball, we're not the more prolific sports in the United States, which is obviously wild because we're an indigenous sport. But I think as far as Averett's concerned, that's part of the reason why I took the job. Is because I needed to be supported, whether it was with my wife and her working part-time because she has health issues, or it was my brothers coming here because my family has like a zero EFC, so we couldn't afford to go to college. So the opportunity for them to come in and study here and still contribute to the financials, obviously they're not coming for free, but like all of this level of support made it easier for me to do my job. It made it easier for us to find the right recruits. It made it easier for us to get the right assistant coaches to get the right equipment. One of the worst things that comes up when you're talking to an athletic director is trying to explain why you need certain gear. Well, because we don't want to die on the field. So I think it's a very serious issue, of course, when it comes to an athletic director that doesn't understand the sport. And we've been really fortunate to have, obviously, Meg start the program, Danny take over, and understand that when I ask for things, it's not stuff that we necessarily wants, like it's needs. We need this type of stuff. And that level of respect, I think, makes it easier for us to just do things naturally. So the support level is top notch. I have no complaints. They and you guys know, like, even the stuff that's happening with the school, none of that has affected the way that we've done anything. It's really made it easier for us just to maintain the same level of competition, the same expectation with maintaining equipment, maintaining apparel, maintaining all this type of stuff. I mean, yeah, when things happen, our lacrosse coach is going to be the first ones picked. No, and I know that. So I think the expectation is that we aren't necessarily going to be getting everything that we want because of that. But I don't want that either. I don't want to be just given things. We want to have to work for them. So when we go and get new box lacrosse goals that should be coming here in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, Jesus, they take forever. But we can use those as an alternate training tool. And that might not necessarily be something that is a requirement on game day, but it's going to make us better for game day. And like the conversation between Danny and I was so easy because he knows I'm not going to come to him with stuff that doesn't make sense. So I think that level of rapport between the two of us makes it a lot easier for me to help these guys and get them the things that they need, getting them the right gloves, getting them the right elbow pads. Like, there are college programs that can't provide half of what we provide, and they still are able to play at a high level. So it's obviously not because of the gear, but it does make it easier to keep them safe. It does make it easier to obviously recruit guys and understanding that they know we have what they need. And that's always been the conversation. We're a Nike school. If guys like Adidas shoes, unfortunately, you're buying your own. But like, as a Nike school, like, we want to be able to cover the stuff that we need to get guys apparel wise and practice gear and all that kind of stuff. And the school has been really supportive of that, regardless. So it just makes it easier. Sorry, kind of went on a tangent.
Are you good? You're good, Coach. No, Averett's come a long way. I know when Big T was there, they didn't have a North Campus, and then when I was going to football games, all I had was a grass field out there, and maybe a couple of bleachers and some a rock track around there, or a gravel track around the field. So it's come a long ways. But Chewy and Zach, y'all ready for some rapid fire?
Bring it.
Might be a little added pressure with Coach here, so we'll see what he thinks about your answers here. So I'll ask 10 questions. Kind of give me either or. It could be offense or defense. I know you guys play different positions, so kind of take it in your position, okay? All right. So first one: win at Daily Field or win on the road?
Daily Field.
Daily Field.
Assist or score?
Assist.
Assist.
Oh, really? Okay. Body or stick check?
Body.
Body.
There we go. Some physicality. I love that. Man to man or zone?
Man.
Okay. Film session or weight room?
Weight room.
Oh, yeah, I like it. Some physicality. I like this. All right, this one's been all over the place. So we got a lot of the younger generation. It's been one way, and the older generation goes another way. So, Powerade or Gatorade?
Oh, Powerade all the way.
Gatorade.
There we go, Chewy. There we go,
And I
Chewy.
say
Thank
that
you.
knowing that we're a Powerade school. But I grew up on Gatorade. I gotta say,
Powerade all the way.
I don't know what it is.
Just blame it on me. It was a voiceover, Chewy. It's okay. I'll take it blame.
This will be an interesting one. I think we'll probably go split here. Hot or cold weather?
Hot.
Cold.
I knew. I figured that one. Yeah.
All right, so I had to use ChatGPT for this one. You going top shelf or bounce shot?
Top shelf all the way.
Love it.
All the way.
If I'm gonna shoot the rock, it might as well look good. So top shelf.
There we go. I love it. All right, this is 2 questions here. So, pre-game meal, and then what's your favorite place to get a bite to eat on the weekend or after a game?
Pre-game meal. I usually just go with anything I just have in my kitchen. I usually just try to make a nice sandwich before a game, get some carbs in me. But if we're going on like an away game, I make a nice stop to Biscuitville right before we get on the bus.
There we go. There we go.
A good stop to Biscuitville.
Yeah, I gotta go with Zach's. Probably Biscuitville for away games, or some sort of simple carb that I can have in my system that'll be ready to go for game time. But I'm more of a pregame snack guy, so I like my honey buns and gummy worms about an hour before I start getting locked in.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that. I'm also a big pasta guy. I usually try to eat a big pasta meal before the night, or the night before the game, or I'll eat just like a little bit of pasta a few hours before the game. It'll fuel me for that full hour.
Are you guys going downtown, Riverside? Where are you going out for a good dinner?
I'd make a trip downtown over to Me's.
There you go.
These is a good pull. Unfortunately, my go-to answer is no longer valid because Philly's unfortunately closed.
RIP Phillies. RIP Phillies.
Yep.
So,
right down the corner.
Now it's Me's.
Yeah, I'd say, either the Social, or I'm a big Buffalo Wild Wings fan.
There we go. All right, last one here. Pre-game music.
I'm a mix. It's really just however I'm feeling for that day. Sometimes I'll go with like some rap, hip hop. Usually it's some sort of EDM though. EDM or house music gets the juices flowing.
I love it.
For me, it's really just it's kind of like Zach said. It depends on the day. I'll rock with some EDM, some country, or some rock. But after I lace up my cleats, I don't listen to music. I like to have that silence in my mind that I can just kind of be me and my conversations with God getting ready for the game.
Amen.
It used to be who gets the aux cord, but now I guess who gets the Bluetooth to the speaker. Who you guys giving it to in the locker room?
That's me.
Luis.
No, that's me. It's me.
No.
They usually don't like all the music that I play. I try to get everybody hyped up, ready for the game. Not a lot of people want to listen to this.
It's a tough job, man. Tough job.
I bet
Zach's
Zach
got
is.
good music, but in my opinion, Luis has better
There we go.
better range for everyone.
So back on the bus after the game, Zach's like, well, if we listen to my music for the game, we would have won probably, right?
When we win, I'm definitely on. I'm definitely on. Yeah,
NBA Youngboy has been the most popular answer. So I think a lot of the football and basketball guys are big NBA Youngboy fans.
A lot of young boy, a lot of Chief Keef, something. Oh, especially Waka Flocka. That's our anthem right after a big win.
Love it. Oh man. Big G, anything else before we get off of here?
No, I like I said, I just need to emphasize the fact that, it makes me very proud, just to know that what's going on behind the scenes. Probably ought to kick myself for not getting more involved previously, but I can promise you three might see too much of me and might have to kick me out of Daly Stadium. I don't know, but I just love the atmosphere. I just love I love a contact sport. I mean, I just love to, I'm all in. So, like I said, I look forward to developing a relationship with the three of you guys, and even more of the guys. And my whole thing is, I would love to have you guys back on maybe mid-season or towards the end of the season, and see just how well maybe I can throw in my 2 cents worth as far as some things that I've seen over the year, and kind of compare notes and just see what you guys think as far as meeting goals for the 2026 season. But like I said, I look forward to it, and I can't thank you three enough for doing what you do on a daily basis.
All right. Well, you've heard it here from Coach Bryan Habick, Chewy Clark, and Zac Coleman. Go out there and watch Averett Lacrosse. Guys, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Yes.
For having us.